And you're now listening to Talking Famous.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to episode. I always forget the name.
Episode tight, I think.
Right. But this episode we are talking about music and the state of music and basically how capitalism affects music. First, I want to say, you got Social Lee here.
Hey, y'all.
And you got Saint. Yeah, so we just hop into it?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
All right, great.
And listen, I'm sorry that we laughing. This is a serious matter.
Yeah, we had a little crazy start, but we're here and we're consistent to bring you guys some content. So I'm gonna go into it by starting off with the tweet of the day. So the tweet is: the fact that artists increasingly can't make money from art, instead have to make money from selling their image and using their influence to endorse various consumer products is a lot worse than everyone think it is. What is your opinions on that? Do you see that in the industry now?
Definitely. And I do think it's very bad, for lack of a better word, but it's bad because I feel like it's kind of normalized to an extent.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what is expected. Okay, like forget about the music, but let me sell these t-shirts. Let me do these other collaborations with these other name brands. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's just like, damn, like
it's oversaturated.
Yeah, it's oversaturated.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I feel like I think for me, looking at doing the research, I feel like a lot of it started, one of the big major popular groups that started doing that was Run DMC with Adidas. So that's when it became really popularized.
Oh yeah.
So they were kind of like they broke the barriers for that. And 90s, started the 90s and the early 2000s, seeing an artist collaborate with a brand, this became a thing, and it was something new and it was something cool.
It was Run DMC, right? And then I think what the athletes started getting into it with Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah. No, he was definitely a major person. I don't know if he's the first. I don't want to misquote, but I think he was like one of the major.
And it was like, I think a documentary that they did. I think you put me on Netflix. It was about basically artists commodifying other different stuff rather than what they was actually presented to do.
Yeah, and I think at first I think it was a cool thing. Like, I think for a lot of consumers and us viewers, we thought it was cool because it's something cool to see like a person who you admire musically collaborate with a brand that you liked.
Yeah.
But now I feel like nowadays with social media, it's like an artist is called an artist, but a lot of time they're focused more so on selling products on like Instagram. Like some person I think about is like Sweetie. Mm-hmm. Like Sweetie is someone who we call her artist, and there's no shade to knock her down, but I see more endorsement deals than anything with Sweetie. These artists. Yeah. Artists in general.
And also it doesn't necessarily has to be products. Like it can literally just be marketing like their body or sex, the sex appeal more than actual art. What do you think about Chloe Bailey? Because I feel like Chloe Bailey always been the topic of discussion because when she first presented herself, she seemed like, well, she still is because I don't know her personally, but she was presented as like this down-to-earth girl. She came with her natural hair. She was just doing her own thing. And then now as her career has kind of, I wouldn't say rose, but basically just kept going, you can see that the way she presents herself to the public is a little bit different.
Yeah. For me, I'll probably see if I can insert the clip, but, even by doing my research on this, I see in a clip where she just basically talked about, how in a sense, music for artists is the advertisement. You know what I mean? And for her, if she wants to make money, she has to, push out what the market wants. So I feel like for her, she's probably, I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen the Treat Me video and all that stuff and I seen how I was like, whoa. I'm still kind of like.
That's when she was doing the scissor legs and she was doing all types of stuff with her legs.
Patting the lady friend and everything. So I was kind of like overblown, but when I seen this clip, it kind of gave me more respect and more like understanding of where she's coming from. Mm-hmm. She is someone who's trying to be like a major star, and that's clearly what she wants to do. And she has to, like she said, music is an advertisement. And if artists aren't getting paid that much money, they have to have something that's going to grab people's attention. So that way, the companies and everything can have a reason to find her valuable. So I feel like she's trying to assimilate, but also stay true to who she is. And another thing.
You think so?
The reason why I say that is because we haven't heard a full album. So I feel like all this is like the shock value.
Okay.
Shock. And I had to realize, I haven't seen a body of work for him yet. Work of hers yet. So I have to give her that chance to like prove to me that. Yeah. So going back to what you said, artists, they usually come in with the intention of wanting to pursue music for their passion. But I feel like for me, what I'm starting to understand is like you said, they have to start mirroring what is going on, like what's going on with the times and also what the label wants.
But I feel like to an extent, like I think we discussed this with the Nicki Minaj episode.
Yeah.
How even Nicki said like a lot of people just doing trendy stuff. Like honestly, what Chloe Bailey's doing is nothing new.
Yeah,
like I've seen K Michelle, I've seen Doja Cat, I've seen these different artists do the same thing. So like you said, she has to create that shock value, but also when she came to the market, she was authentic herself. Yeah. Oh, these two twins. Okay, she has a solo career, fine, but her vocals was so crazy that already set her apart. But now that she's doing what's trendy, it's like, I get it. You gotta, market yourself. It's all about capitalism and all that good stuff. But I don't see anything different or new from what she's doing.
It's not different. I feel like, but my thing is going back to artists. I feel like a lot of artists, they have been programmed to believe that sex sells, and that also like they have to put up a facade of, being sexy or, having all this money because they feel like this is what people want to see. And I feel like they're only hurting themselves by doing that because we want transparency, That's what I feel like the essence of music is losing. It's like it's too much like flashy.
Yeah.
I think it's because hip hop is such a mainstream sound, and hip hop is braggadocious and glamour and it's cocky. So now you're seeing that in all like the hip hop influence and everything, pop, everything. So it's like R&B. So it's like we're losing that essence in music in general.
You bring up a good point.
Yeah. So another point I want to bring up is like so these artists, themselves actually being exploited, being that, they are in this system where they have to, put up this facade just because they feel like this is what they have to keep up with, just in order to like, sell records and all this stuff like that.
Can we go back to
yeah.
I'm like, yo, Leah again with this Chloe Bailey. But I was watching something, and basically when she got signed to Beyonce's label, allegedly she got a $1 million endorsement, right? I'm gonna say with her sister too. What's her sister name?
Haley.
Chloe I like both of them too. It's just I always hate Chloe. So, but and they said like when they did release the album, of course the album was recognized, but it didn't do so well in sales that they end up owing money, and that's why. Well, I'm not gonna say that's why, but I can make an inference. That's why she's kind of going this route in terms of the shock value, because she got to make that money back that she owes, because that $1 million, she wasn't able to make that money with the sales.
Is a system to it, like you said, because like so now she's in debt to her label because people think like, oh, they see somebody getting this $1 million contract and they feel like, oh, all that money's going to them, but it's like them having to actually invest back in their craft. They have to actually pay for the recording and all the type of stuff. So when the album doesn't sell well, it's like, oh shit, like I gotta pay back I gotta find a way to pay it back. So now the artist is either compromising their artistry,
right,
or now, like you said, they're focusing on endorsements and trying to sell products. So that's where we lose out on good artistry.
Also too, like just to, I don't want to say be the devil's advocate, but also talk about the positive things. Like look at Rihanna, like. Of course, when you have that high status, you definitely want to dip your hands in other areas. This way you can be kind of like a multi-millionaire or multi-entrepreneur. You have Fenty Savage, you have all these different brands that Rihanna kind of developed. So yes, I agree that in terms of capitalism, like, I agree with the artists, like make your money, but some artists may not even feel like they need to do that or they even want to do that, but they feel like they may have to do that.
And so also with Rihanna, I feel like she did it the smart way. Like Rihanna, like when she came out, I think everyone sees her success now, like, but people don't understand, like when Rihanna first came out, her singles were selling. Like she was a single selling artist. Like all her singles were going number one. Like people bought her singles, but as far as her albums, she wasn't selling. Like her albums weren't selling.
I didn't know that. They were playing that all over the radio.
Yeah, so that's why but she came at a perfect time because she came at the streaming age and the single age. So now you have singles. Now you could buy artist singles was people was buying more singles than the actual album, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so now she came at the perfect timing though. So, but my point is to say that she came out and she was working year after year, dropping an album year after year, and doing music. So that way, she solidified her legacy in music, and now she can explore other routes. You know what I'm saying? So now she could do fashion. Now she can do skincare, and now she could take the time that she needs to to actually invest her time into that and actually put like real care into it.
Yeah, master it.
Yeah, and also that's smart for her because now when she goes back into music, she doesn't have to make music that she doesn't want to make.
That's true, because I think me and you was going back and forth because I was like, listen, my take on music is that there's artists that promote stuff that they may not agree with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say too much, but it could be satanic stuff. I'm going to let y'all think what that is. But we was going back and forth, and I'm like, well, if these artists kind of knew that this is what they was going into when they signed that contract, like, and then 5 years later they changed their mind, it's like, this is not what I want. I had to like step back. You know what? Like, I don't know, because it's like when you sign these contracts with these major labels, you kind of know what you're setting yourself up for.
So this is the thing. I feel like we can say that now, as at the age that we're in now, like the age that we're older now, we're more mature and we see things and we've grown spiritually. We're able to see in hindsight, like, oh shit, that was a mistake on this artist's part. But you gotta understand, a lot of times the music industry either capture these people when they're really young, or they like, they start off when they're young, or they're catching them when they're in their teens or early 20s. And when you someone who has like who is passionate, or you have a love for something, or especially like something within the music industry, which is hard to like get into, and someone's giving you an opportunity, a lot of times you're not even. First of all, they're not reading the contracts. They're young. They're relying on either like the adults as they should. We should have reliable adults around us to make sure that they're looking out after us. But a lot of times that's not happening.
Right.
So they're just being young and naive and just wanting something, and then they get into a situation where it's like, oh shit, I can't escape. Imagine you getting signed at 16, right? And now you decide, okay, 2 years later, I don't want to be in this, but you're $1 million debt to your fucking your label.
Yeah.
Where you gonna go? You gonna work at McDonald's, or you gonna make it work? And that's the thing. I feel like people who's been successful, like Rihanna, or you say Beyonce or Jay-Z, it's like they're like, okay, I'm in this. Now I got to finish it, and they learn the system. And I feel like it doesn't have to be something where, they're worshiping the devil or demon. I feel like it's definitely spiritual warfare within the industry. Right. That's like in life in general.
Right.
I just feel like when it comes to Black people, we have to be careful of carrying that narrative, because it kind of separates us from them. You know what I mean? And and it makes it easy to ridicule them and tear them down. And it stops them from actually wanting to connect with us, or give back. Or that's why I feel like there's a rift between us and the people. I want to say this, I would say the higher ups, the
elites.
The elites, but I'm thinking we're talking more so entertainment and our entertainers, because I feel like we do a really bad job with. I mean,
granted, it's not just like these Black artists. I think there's like a list of other artists.
Black successful people. That's what I mean. Black successful, period.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not only like Black artists. It's a lot of Caucasian, non-Black artists that do all types of stuff within their music. But, that's besides the point. I was just trying to address that, But I'm losing my train of thought.
No, not. I mean, no, it was a valid point. I was going to take the direction to that the conversation to that point anyway. So I don't know. I just feel like it's more nuanced. It's just not like, oh shit, this nigga signed a contract with the devil.
But look at Doja Cat though, because didn't she go on a Twitter rant talking about she's not doing music anymore, but she's gonna finish out her contract. Honestly, it's just really confusing, because the music that she puts out, and like you said, I think you said earlier that they kind of present this false facade. Yeah. And when she did put out music, I'm here thinking, okay, this is music that she likes. Like, I'm listening to her music, I'm like, okay, she was making this music with her soul, like she loved this thing. And so I'm here thinking that represents Doja Cat. But then she goes on Twitter saying like, you know what, I can't do this. It may not just be about the actual music that she's putting out. It could just be the whole process of her touring, her dealing with producers and all this type of stuff. But at that point, it's like, damn, like Doja Cat is new too. She hasn't, it's not like she's been out for a while. She's been out for like less than 6 years, something like that. Yeah. And she's already like tapping out. So
do you really think she's gonna tap out though? I would be surprised. I mean, I would really be surprised, because out of like the group of these artists, like we talk about how artistry is being lost. She is someone who is like giving me, like she's giving it to me.
But you know what sucks too? When she first came to the market, she made that YouTube song called Moo. Yeah. And she got hits that way. I'm pretty sure she could commodify those hits and those commercials that's on YouTube and put on other platforms. I don't think she necessarily needed a label. Of course, the label took her to a whole nother level, but it's like, damn, like you have artists that is really making hit music on YouTube in their house and getting the recognition that they needed, but they took it a step further, and tied itself down.
For us, it seems like, I think like as outsiders, it seems easy. Like it would be like, okay, she got her success, she got her clout. It's okay, now she can just leave her label. I don't feel like it's that easy 9 times out of 10.
I mean, it's not. Look at Kesha.
Exactly. And it's like people who's like, I think she was talking about Max Martin, the one, not Max Martin, Dr. Luke was a guy who she worked with closely and who was like,
Kesha?
Yeah. She's in a whole lawsuit with the guy, Dr. Luke, because of, I guess he was sexually assaulting her and stuff like that. And he's someone who still works in the industry, who actually worked with Doja and They Say So.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, like, with that being said, is like, now her whole character is being defamed. And this is a man who she has proven everything, and I mean, people are believing her, but she's not getting the proper justice, and he's still collectively collecting his coin, and he's having work. Like, he worked with Doja Cat, and he's still working with people. So it's like, for certain, as it looks like, oh, it's easy, but it's like, not a lot of people don't get their justice in this industry, and we've seen that with major stars like Michael Jackson, Prince,
But that's just that's because of the people. Like, Doja Cat could have easily said, all right, I don't want to work with this person. I'm not going to say like she has full choices, because I don't know exactly what's in those contracts. But at the end, her
label made her work.
These people are hungry. So who's it? You have these directors, these movie directors that do the same thing. They'll have so many allegations, but then you still have a lot of actors and other directors and other producers still working with them. It's like these people are just freaking hungry. They don't even care what actually went on in the past.
But I think that's when they say when you sign that contract, you sell your soul, and that's what happens. Like, you lose, like you said, they're so tunnel vision and so hungry that they lose sense of everything that's going on, and they allow all these people that come into their circle and alter them who they are. Like you said, like I even like. Going back, Doja Cat, but also like someone like Lady Gaga, like someone who you always like. As when she came out, we've seen someone who's like, oh shit, she is who she is. She's very expressive. You felt like she owned, she owned her image, exactly. Right. But then I seen a interview with her, or a documentary, I can't remember, but she talked about even the fact that when she first came out, her whole image was a gimmick. Because she got signed to a label and she was writing for other artists, and when it came time to her, she wanted to put out something different, but they wanted a pop star. So she went the route. She got the blonde hair and
Doja Cat, right?
No, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Oh,
yeah, and she put the blonde hair on, and she gave us poker face and all type of stuff. And she was talking about how like for us, like we thought like, oh, here's someone who is
authentic with the pop culture type.
Exactly, but it's like she had to alter her vision in order to break into the industry.
Wait, so. That's crazy, because I didn't even know that. What did Lady Gaga want to present herself as? Like, in what genre?
I think what you see now is who she is. Like, because I think for the first 2 albums, and it's crazy, and now that I look back at it, the first album is called Fame, and the next one's called Fame Monster. So she was kind of, in a sense, telling us, like, yo, this is what I'm doing to
get to that level.
Like fame. Like, she was hungry for fame. So she knew she had to alter herself. And there's certain tracks where she alludes to that. But now you've seen it over the years. She started doing jazz, and she started doing movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And her sound started to change to a little more serious tone. I just felt like she.
But also too, I just remember I did watch like some YouTube videos of her before she even came into the limelight, where she was just doing her little piano.
And she had brunette hair.
Yeah.
Brunette hair, but that's like the form for everybody. Like Beyonce, blonde. Rihanna, she had a blonde era. Doja Cat. Britney is a fucking brunette.
She's a natural blonde. Oh, she's a brunette.
That's what I'm saying.
I forgot. Yeah,
but
you're
I'm saying the industry is so good at
curating this type of image.
Exactly, that you don't even recognize the artists who they were before. You know what I mean? Like Katy Perry, she came out with jet black hair. But she's not. She naturally is a brunette. And I remember when she dyed her hair blonde, she wasn't giving what she was giving.
She wasn't giving.
No shade, but it's crazy. I mean, that's saying the industry itself, it needs to alter, and we can't blame the artist solely, but also I also blame the artist just because they want to keep up this facade, and if you're not transparent, how can we help you?
Yeah, you're right. And how are we supposed to believe you?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times the only time they are transparent is when it benefits them. You know what I mean? For example, I'm trying to think of an example, but I feel like they're only transparent though when it benefits them, like when they need our support. So
is that like, are you? It's not Kanye West, because West.
That was an example. So do you know more about it?
I know that he put his legal documents on Twitter. You could, there's fines for that, but he got the money for it, right? So you think that like that was just beneficial for us, like beneficial for him?
For him, like I feel like this was something that was going on long before. But I can't even say Kanye because Kanye's not a great example because Kanye, he speaks.
Yeah.
And he's been speaking.
That's true.
But I'm trying to say in that moment it was beneficial for his argument and what he wanted. But I think he was also Kanye being who Kanye is and who I've seen him be. He was someone who was trying to do it out of the good for everyone in the industry. Yeah. So he's not a great example.
Yeah, and even so, like honestly, that's just his image. I've always thought he always was looking out for people. So
exactly. And it's crazy when those people speak out. Someone like Kanye, someone like Prince, someone like Michael, they are crazy. They are crazy. They label us crazy.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Prince and Michael.
Rest in peace.
Speaking of capitalism in music, I don't know if it was Erica Banks, but I know she just did this interview. And she was just basically talking about how like it's an investment to get surgery, which it is. I mean, I don't want to say it is because I don't agree with it, but unfortunately it is for women in hip hop. Once they get that surgery, they kind of get that limelight that they need. They're able to market themselves to these labels because now they have that it factor that is what's trending right now. Big booties and big tatas.
And that's what they want from every like female rapper. At least Coyle Ray, she at least she's setting the mold and she's innovative in that. I wouldn't say innovative, but she's bringing back, I guess, the natural bodies.
Right. So shout out to that. Yeah. I mean, she is still selling sex.
She is still selling sex.
So you give and you take, but
Yeah. So my question to you, like, what do you think needs to be done? What do you think artists need to do? Like, what do you think we can do as consumers to help?
Consumers.
Fuck it, we can't help.
We can't help, but
artists. I feel like it does rely on artists.
If we really want to like value their music, I know when Kanye released the last album, he has like this whole separate platform where he gets every piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I think you had to purchase like a whole nother type of machine. Just
it's the stem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little expensive, but that's still supporting the artist because now you know that $5 that you spent is going directly to Kanye because he's the one that created everything. Unfortunately, these artists that have these royalties and these deals set up, they're probably getting like 10 cents of $3, probably even less than that. You just
made a good point because it's like, as a consumer, that's the way we can help, like you said. But if we're not doing that and we're going through like Spotify or Apple Music, like I'm thinking like, oh shit, these people, they're desperate. That's what it is. So they're doing whatever they can to like grab niggas' attention.
I don't blame them. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm low key tempted to delete my Apple Music too because I mean I do have the student discount, which is extra burst because now like
I use my mom's shit. Shout out to my mom.
I'm dead. But the music is like it's just like it's a streaming platform. They're not really getting money for it. But I'm also about to delete it because Apple Music just be playing the same music. Like I hate when I go to browse music and I just be seeing the same stuff that's on the radio. I didn't come to browse music to see what I'm seeing already. I came to actually learn what other music is out there. So shade to Apple Music. That was definitely shade.
Yeah. Yeah, because I actually, speaking of new artists, but I discovered a new artist. His name is Topaz Johnson. Topaz Jones. I'm probably butchering the name, but just because you mentioned like it's hard to find new artists, I think that's a great artist you should check out.
So is he R&B?
It's crazy. Like it was the first time like I listened to an album from start to finish, and I enjoy everything. So I feel like he's R&B, rap. He's a mix of everything. Like this guy is really amazing. Like I'm feeling his vibe. So
since we're showing out artists, there's some other artists that my cousin Kusamek, shout out to her, promoted. Yes. Oof. All right, I don't know her name. Damn.
Is she someone's popular?
She's not popular actually, but I'm not gonna find it, but I'll put it in the caption when y'all tune in.
We'll probably throw a little snippet of one of his songs.
Oh, her name was Rochelle Jordan. I just found it. Rochelle Jordan. Very authentic. I actually was like, let me listen to it, and it was very different. It's cool.
I like that. So any other points that we should bring up?
I mean, no. Honestly, like a lot of stuff is kind of said all over. Like it's what everybody is thinking. But I mean, the only thing you could do is really like try to, go back to the CDs. But they don't have CDs no more.
I mean, for me, I would actually be interested. I feel like finding a way to incorporate those old moments. Like I think we had a conversation about this. Everything is so digital. Like for us to try to find ways to go back to physical spaces and try to reconnect in that way, I think that would be a great way for artists to like market itself. Like, I feel like, like some you even see like some artists are dropping like vinyls now.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like artists need to find a way to like incorporate that. I know you can't do that fully, but I feel like that's the key, is like try to bring things back to the old essence, because people love nostalgia. You know what I mean? Yeah. But also you have to be innovative, because I don't want the same things over and over as far as artistry.
Yeah, and I would say go to concerts too. But like a lot of those concerts, a lot of artists do make more money from their concerts than the actual songs itself. But like the people that's holding these concerts, what is the I forgot
Coachella,
what it's called. Coachellas, all these platforms, they're making way more money off the
artists.
Off the artist than the actual artist. So
that was another point they brought up too. It's like, artists are like they're scrambling now. It's like, oh shit, like because of COVID, touring is not the same. So now they're doing all these festivals, and it's like I feel like artists need to, at the end of the day, you came in to be an artist. Remember what you came in here for. Yeah. And try to make that your mission to like bring back the art. I mean, I know it's easy. Sometimes you got to be brave. You got to go against the grain. That if that means like losing, everything that you've gained. That's what it means. You already got the platform. You got a lot of supporters behind you. I feel like a lot of times this comes from a deep insecurity inside them. You know what I mean? Yeah. We all have insecurity. I feel like a lot of times we don't think that they have insecurity because they're rich, they're famous and stuff like that. And I feel like, we got to be more empathetic to that. And they also got to, just acknowledge that themselves, because that's going to be like the thing that breaks the chain for them. Yeah, that was, the conversation. We try to give you guys the best, what we can give. We want to know, like, what do you think? How do you think capitalism is setting back artists and their work? Comment below, share, let us know what you love about this episode.
And thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
TLK.
Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Peace.
I need everything iced out. Dying is a lifestyle. Told you I was gonna beat your ass one day. Please hold me back, I'ma slap him in his face. He touched my girlfriend, that's disrespect. I swung, he ducked and pushed me through the death. Wildest drama, my mama, been in my casa. When we were young, you were the golden child that she copy. Everyone said to be like Najawan. Problems with you, look, I do not want, but I am a man, so I got a flaunt. Or they gonna call me a punk. This morning I bought me a pump. I'm cycling through memories. Hindsight is 20/20 clean. Now you got me backpedaling. Psychiatrist not helping me. Your childhood not so heavenly. There's hell to pay. My elder take, I make it through. I celebrate. Why celebrate?